Greetings once again, wizards. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with Fairy Tale, the 100 Years Quest, where previously we had the climactic battle between Urza and Eni of the Signario sisters. With the defeat of Luso, Eni was going in harder than ever before, matching Urza with her own personal armor that she summoned with the use of alchemy. That in combination with Eni's ability to manipulate the world around them made it a very difficult and pretty cool fight. Although granted, we've seen the Signario sisters being able to turn off Urza's magic, transform Urza into something else. Usually that was Luso, but you know. Over the course of the fight, when Urza's a bit on the back foot, she questions Gold Owl's motivation in all of this. As it turns out, it simply stems from fear, which, all things considered, another country would kind of have that issue. They've seen what Ishgar went through with the hordes of dragons they had over time, from what happened at the Grand Magic Games to everything that went down with Acnologia, and even the very history of the country that they're in. Dragons were a scourge upon the people of the land for the longest time. Shoot, that's why Elfin created his whole guild. Well, no, but that's a lot of the motivation behind a lot of the things that Elfin did after a certain point. And while Urza can sympathize with wanting to protect her own, what she cannot abide by is the very thought that they could get away with harming her friend. And through the power of friendship and anime, Urza manages to rise to the occasion and strike down Eni, undoing the world alchemy that keeps everyone in separate locations. And thus, Urza, Gray, Jalal, Lucy, Rogue, Froth, and I think that's it, are all suddenly brought back together in the main hall of Gold Owl, only to see none other than Duke Boroborua holding up the bloody and battered body of Natsu. How did he do it? And what happened to the two Athenas, as well as the hostages Wendy, Carla, and Happy? Join me as I find out, won't you? Alright, Fairy Tale, The 100 Years Quest, Chapter 147, Iruha. Ooh, and a very nice image of Minerva as a fortune teller. She got them seductive bedroom eyes. Yeah. Alright. Boroborua holds up the lifeless, bloody, beaten, battered body of Natsu, by the head no less. The ultimate disrespect. He looks down on the other members of Fairy Tale with a sneer, as everyone looks on in shock. Lucy cries out for Natsu. Urza recoils in disbelief, stating, "No." We even see Athena's body laid prone at the feet of Boroborua. Rogue cries out for Athena, and Froth can barely hold back the tears, hardly being able to get a word out. Boroborua mocks them, saying, "I've nearly gotten all the power I want." Gray gets ready to use his ice make magic, shouting, "Why you?" But suddenly, Athena too has leapt above his head. Ooh! And with a flaming kick, she strikes at Gray. So they did manage to get Natsu's magic. Jalal cries out for Gray, as Gray is sent sprawling onto the floor. Lucy says in disbelief, "A black Athena?" While Urza's more focused on something else, saying, "That flame power." Bora then states, "Athena too." Suddenly, Athena too floats above our heroes, whipping up a whirlwind that surrounds them. Jalal states, "Wendy's sky magic?" As he and Urza brace themselves. Suddenly, a shadow moves toward Rogue, and he can only question in shock, saying, "My power?" Lucy is attacked by wind, Jalal attacked by flame. As Athena too rushes towards Urza, she braces herself at the ready with her sword, stating she's strong, she must be the one who beat Natsu. But Bora then throws the battered body of Natsu towards Urza. Urza instinctively calls out for Natsu, going to grab him, but this takes her off her guard. Athena too has closed the distance, kneeing Urza right in the chin, not missing a beat. And like that, Urza and everyone else is downed. not out, but they're definitely hurting. As Athena too stands over the downed members of Fairy Tale and their allies, Bora Bora rejoices, stating, "The true Athena has been born here, the embodiment of destruction, the ultimate weapon that can pierce through dragons. That power is now in my hand." Urza begins to struggle to her feet, but Bora Bora isn't done. He then states, "So, start by using that power to eliminate everyone in this place," he commands Athena too, and she replies with a cold yes. Of course, we then cut to a nearby forest where Sting, Yukino, Minerva, and Lecter of Sabretooth continue their search for the Philosopher's Stone. Remembering the words of the Master of Lead Eagle, Sting states, "Zalam said he'd be in the heart of the forest." Yukino then notices something pointing in the distance saying, "Look everyone." Interesting. This is definitely a magical place. We see a crystalline structure surrounded by pillars out in the middle of a serene lake with circular stones leading towards it. Minerva eyes it, stating it certainly does look the part. Lecter crosses his arms, saying, "So this Iruha person who can alchemize the Philosopher's Stone is in there here?" Suddenly, Sting begins to smell something and calls out to Minerva, "Princess, behind you!" As he and Yukino look on in shock, as suddenly vines begin to enclose on Minerva, wrapping around her. Minerva can only look on in shock as Yukino calls out, "The plants are moving!" And Minerva ends up in a bit of a compromising situation. Even getting to see what underwear she's wearing. Striped. Very nice. Seen enough hentai to know where this is going. As Sting blushes a bit and calls out to Minerva, it's almost as though the vines are trying to meld with her body. Ew. As Minerva struggles, she tells the vines, "You have some nerve attempting to shame me." She then shouts, "Iragada," using her magic to burst through the encircling vine. But it's not over. As the vines begin to encircle Sting, Yukino, and Lecter, Lecter calls out, "Plants are coming at us from all sides." Sting uses his magic to send out multiple beams of white light, using Holy Ray. Yukino then uses her spirit magic, opening the gate of the twin Inktheoid Palace. Pisces. Inktheoid Palace. Was that always what she said? Regardless, Pisces then rips through the vine. Oh, she even has them go into their humanoid forms. That's kinda cool. Pisces is actually pretty cool, as it's like summoning two spirits for the price of one. Minerva, for being put in such a compromising position, is utterly pissed as rage bubbles off of her as she states, "Shall I destroy this entire forest?" Sting can only call out to her in shock, but suddenly the vines freeze in place. Yukino shouts, "They stop." She then questions, "Did the princess's threats work?" Sting questions, "On plants?" But suddenly a voice calls out to them in their minds, saying, "Those were guard plants that I created with alchemy." As they turn, they see Zalam sitting on some branches or vines above them. The Master of Lead Eagle tells them, "They protect me from intruders." Yukino shouts, "You're that guy, Zalam-sama? Or Master Zalam?" Lecter then says, "No, please look closer. His hair and mustache are a mirror image of Zalama." Yes? Everyone says, "What?" And yes, sure enough, his hair parts to a different side. Weird. Iruha tells them, "I am Iruha, Chi. Zalam is my..." Sting questions, "Twin?" Iruha says, "Son, Chi." And Sting tells him, "Liar." Minerva steps forward, questioning, "It hardly matters. You are Iruha?" Iruha says, "Indeed, Chi." Minerva then tells him, "We came to see you because we'd like you to make the Philosopher's Stone." Iruha questions, "The Philosopher's Stone? What will you use it for, Chi?" Minerva tells him, "To give a physical form to a dragon that doesn't have one." Iruha laughs, saying, "How interesting, Chi." Sting then asks, "So you'll make it for us?" Iruha says, "Well, that's a little chi." Sting shouts, Don't chi us, please just do it." Iruha tells them, "No, the Philosopher's Stone is the greatest secret technique of alchemy. No alchemist in this world can create it, Chi." Yukino is discouraged, saying, "Oh no." Sting then says, "But Zalam said you might be able to." Iruha tells them, "I've tried before, but it was very much beyond my ability." Suddenly, Zalam approaches from behind, saying, What if we tried together, Ron? Everyone turns in shock. Iruha rushes to Zalam, calling out to him. Well, Zalam says, Dad, Ron. Oh, God. I'm not really fond of these two. I feel like all of this was just a way of getting the rest of the members of Sabretooth out of the picture for a while. Sting looks on, bewildered, saying, huh? They're really father and son? While Yukino is overjoyed, saying how marvelous that they look alike. A little too much alike. Zalam says, if we combine our power, we might be able to do it, Ron. Iruha says, yes, my son. Let's give it a try, Chi. They both touch fingers, ew, and say, father-son alchemy merge. Suddenly a very busty, cutesy girl with a owl hat says, as she appears in their place, welcome to the Irozala workshop, Pon. Okay, I feel like Mashima just needed to get out all of his crazy for a second. I will admit, he hasn't done anything like overly weird in a hot minute in the manga, but dude, what the shit is this? Sting is basically me in this moment going, huh? Why'd they turn into a girl? Well, Yukino's just just fascinated by it all, saying, marvelous. And Minerva's just done saying, I can't keep up with their perspective. Well, it hardly matters, as long as they can create the Philosopher's Stone. I mean, yeah, but I'm sorry, I have some questions. Well, it's not the weirdest thing we've had in Fairy Tail. It's pretty high up there. Now, if maybe the reasoning behind it is simply that, the Philosopher's Stone is a very powerful item, and in order to keep the secrets of it, this being split themselves into two halves. That way, it would never be easy to get the stone. Although I do question, if that's the case, what made, I guess, Iruzala choose to help Sabretooth in the end? And does the owl motif maybe have some association with Gold Owl? Like maybe this is a creation of Boro Boro back before? Because the owl hat is like making me think, okay, there's something to do with Gold Owl here. Maybe the original being who turned the Gold Owl into, the Gold Dragon into a concept? Or did they ascend to a concept? I can't remember. I feel like there's deeper lore about to happen here. At least I hope so. If it's just weirdness for the sake of weirdness, okay. We also didn't really get a explanation as to how Athena and Natsu got beat. I'm just gonna assume that it was whiteout magic. It's the easiest explanation, and it's the one that makes the most sense. It's one of the few situations with the whole face-off against Gold Owl where someone actually used the insta-win ability. Because in Gray and Lucy's fight, Sai should have just turned them into inanimate objects like he did before. In Jalal's fight, it was pointed out to me that God Serena didn't even use Dragon Force, and you can't tell me he couldn't. And in Urza's fight, like I said before in the recap, Luso should have been able to transform Urza's clothes or weapons into something else, or undo them, or swap them out with something, or turn her into a plushie, into a small animal, something. We've seen so many insta-win moves from the members of Gold Owl that it's just like, okay, some of these wins are really contrived. I'm not mad, I'm just a little disappointed. Gold Owl was really shaping up to be like one of the biggest challenges, and it's just kind of like, oh, that's how we beat them. Didn't find any way around their alchemy or some kind of loophole in their abilities or something, a weakness to alchemy. Like, no. They kind of beat themselves by being idiots. I'm still kind of hung up on that, especially because Bora Bora won in a way that I think he did, that I think he should have won in. Though I get the feeling that maybe the power of friendship is gonna get our heroes out of their situation. Is Athena 2 beating that ass? Well, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think of Uruzala? Weirdness for the sake of weirdness, or is there something deeper like I'm thinking, or at least hoping? And how do you feel about how powerful Athena 2 has gotten? I mean, I guess 3 Dragon Slayer abilities is the magic number in the end, but I want to hear from you, so like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride, and until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Till then, bye-bye.